Good morning, people. Hope everybody's keeping well. We're back with Spurs in the news. Big game coming up Sunday, 3 o'clock. Pressure is on. Ange. Look, guys, Ange Postecoglou is causing a lot of divide in the fan base. So many different opinions. I mean, you look at all the stats, the data, the results, the performances, how he manages games. You know, he's sticking to his system. He's not budging at all. He's of the opinion that we need to ride through this really difficult period Spurs are going through. He keeps pointing towards the injuries. He's now pointing towards that he needs reinforcements in January and that the club are work in progress. Look, a lot of fans, including myself, are so frustrated right now with the results. We're sitting 11th in the league. We're closer to the relegation zone than we are to the top four positions. We actually are in relegation form. Is it 5 Premier League defeats out of 6? 6 defeats in 10. It's not good. It's not good. And it's really difficult supporting Spurs right now and trying to understand Ange. Ange is not shifting from his principles. He will not adjust to anybody he plays against. You know, we saw the game against Nottingham Forest where we all kind of predicted what would happen, that Nottingham Forest, they defend very well and they reduce their strength in their counter-attack and they got their goal. Look, they didn't have many chances, Nottingham Forest, that day, but they didn't need to. They managed the game by how compact they were and how they soaked up Spurs' pressure. Spurs, in an attacking sense, looked aimless. They tried the same thing over and over again. They didn't play to Solanke's strengths, getting the crosses into the box. They did not change formation, overload the wide areas, stop inverting the fullbacks, get it out wide, get crosses in, do something different. Put another striker on, maybe Lancashire or somebody, another presence in the box, because clearly the Nottingham Forest two centre-backs are really having a good season. And the game just ended with it was just a nothing performance from us. Yes, you can have all the possession in the world, but Ange, he just relates back to it being in a bad moment. So this is the argument here, isn't it? Like the report I read yesterday from Gary Jacob is that Ange retains the support of the club, which is not looking to change the head coach, but there is an understanding that results must improve. So yeah, the pressure is on Ange, even though they want to support him. You can't keep losing football matches. And if you lose at home to Wolves on Sunday, even with the injuries, and they are really bad with regards to centre-backs, we haven't got any fit centre-backs for Sunday other than Dorrington, who is unlikely to play, I heard, and Basuma is going to stand in instead. So, look, I don't think if look, we can say Ange in, Ange out, we can all have our opinions on it, but at the end of the day, if results continue to be poor and we keep losing and we keep dropping down that table, then the club will have to make a decision to move him on, because you can't have that many defeats. We've had 9 this season so far. There's some really damning stats out there. But Ange, he does not care. He wants to stick to his principles, and he thinks that once Spurs get through this difficult period, they get the injuries back, get some reinforcements in January, that they can come out a better team. You can really question it, can't you? Then there's the argument, what's the point of changing another manager under the ownership? We hear the same thing all the time. It could be in the same position in 18 months' time under the next manager, not getting fully supported by the board. I got to the point where I just don't really care anymore at the moment. I will watch the games. I will get behind the team, but I can't keep dealing with these losses and this poor managerial tactical decisions from Ange. Actually, no tactical decisions. At the end of the day, he just doesn't do anything to help us, and is just adamant of sticking to this same way time and time again. And you also hear that Guardiola speaks like this as well. I'm not going to change. The problem is Guardiola. He did adjust when he first arrived to the Premier League, and he spent a hell of a lot of money to get the team and wanted to play his system perfectly. There's so many questions around, can these Spurs players play Ange's system? There's many who I don't think can. It's a massive issue with the injuries and why we get so many injuries with the intensity in games and in training. We're just full throttle, and the squad was nowhere near ready to play this way. So many questions around the recruitment team, so many questions around, Ange's say on the transfer window. It was really poor. I know I've said it so many times, I'm getting bored of saying it, but that squad was nowhere near ready for this season. We needed a left back, we needed another centre back. There's a massive question mark that we need a more of a defensive type midfielder in a six. Ange doesn't play with a six, you hear. It is just so frustrating watching Spurs. And what makes it even more harder is you see the likes of Bournemouth above us, Nottingham Forest. I know Brentford drew yesterday. You've got the likes of Villa above us. There's another team as well who's doing really well. Fulham as well, going over to Chelsea and winning there. Fantastic. Like, Chelsea absolutely outplayed us when we played them at our ground. And you look at them managers managing those teams with such smaller budgets and managing to get good results, and they're above us, all of them above us in the league. And it's all because Ange does not want to adapt. He does not want to change. Our defence is suffering so many injuries, and it's just so frustrating. It really, really is. You can argue whatever way you want. We are in relegation form right now, and if we're not careful, we're going to drop so far away from those European positions the time we come to January. You look at the fixtures, guys. Honestly, you look at the fixtures coming up in January. We've got the Carabao Cup semi-final as well. We play the likes of Newcastle, Arsenal. It's, other than maybe Wolves at home we can win, it's really hard to see how we can win, especially when Ange will not adjust to the opponent. And then you can think about, oh well, Ange, yeah, let's get behind Ange, let's trust him. It's really difficult to trust him with the results that we're getting week in, week out. You just, and especially with the injuries, you just adjust it just to get through this period. And he just does not do it. And we keep losing. Fans keep arguing. People then go, oh, it's the board fault. It's just one big mess at Spurs right now. And Ange is just sitting there and he's just saying, look, this is what's happening. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're working towards. Oh, it's a bump in the road. I'm sorry, guys, but sorry, Ange. But look, as fans, we need to see so much better from your management. And I just don't think we're going to see it. And the time it comes to the end of January, when you do have players back and maybe you do get a couple of signings in, there won't be much to play for the rest of the season. And are Spurs fans just happy just to see it as another year of work in progress? I just don't think many are. As supporters, we need to see some progression in the team. And we haven't seen any this season. We've had a couple of good results, of course, but we're just so open. We're so easy to play against. Van der Ven, the guy keeps getting hamstring injury after hamstring injury. He can't play this way. So what do? Go and get another fast centre back. So you have two. So one gets injured, then you throw the other one in. I just don't think, honestly, in my opinion, Ange football is sustainable. Even if we had all the best players ever in the world right now, I think it would we still get found out so many times. But Ange is on this, he's on this quest, isn't he? He's won in Scotland and Japan and Australia, and he's sticking to his principles. You look across all kind of you know, social media and Talk Sport, Sky Sports, everybody is questioning him. We are a big joke to many rival fans, and it's painful. Now, as a Spurs fan, can you sit here and take this under Ange? Can you ride through his so-called, we've got to get through this period and we will be a better team? It's dwindling. The support for Ange is dwindling. There are a few who are still behind him, of course, and they go back to that argument. It's the same manager. Changing the manager again is not going to help. But as I said, I've said for a few weeks now that it's a key point to let Ange go now, get a new manager in. That Turgic is a guy that I've been looking into, and he seems like a good young manager to come in. And I think board make the decision ASAP, get him here, give him some players in January, and then we can really get behind something for the rest of the season. Do we just have to wait for this process? I just don't think Ange is going to last it out. I just can't see how we're suddenly going to become any better. Even with our players back, we were still losing. We're still getting found out week after week. Anybody can beat us. Guys, that's all I'm going to say today. It's just a little moan about Spurs. In regards to kind of the news, it was kind of more around fans' opinion on Ange. There's not, other than something about Archie Gray coming in at centre back. They're not going to get another defender in January because he's doing so well. This is just, and that's coming from, I think, the Evening Standard. It's just bad, very bad. Like, we desperately need another centre back, and if they're going to just let Archie Gray play centre back, we bought him for midfield. The poor guy. I mean, it's great for him to get game time, but it's just worrying times, isn't it? Like, when you hear reports like that, how much truth's in it, who knows? There's a bit of news on who are the next managers on the shortlist. Don't know what truth in this at all. It's Potter, Xavi, Terzic, Areola, and Frank, and that is the shortlist. Who knows? Surely the club are looking into this now. Results can't go on. One more thing I just wanted to mention in the video was about injuries, and that when the difference in when we have had Van der Ven and Romero. So in the period when we did have Romero and Van der Ven, we had 13 points out of 27, which was a 48% and win rate. And then we look at the games we performed without them. Should get that data up. 10 points out of 27, which is 37% win rate. So it just tells you there's not a massive difference, even when we do have our fully fit team in. Guys, another game on tomorrow, Wolves. The pressure is on. What will happen if we lose? I'm sure it's end of days for Ange. He can't survive this any longer. The club believe in him or not. Spurs need to pick up results. They need to pick up results fast, because we're dropping down that table. West Ham will be above us soon, and they've really had a poor season so far with their new manager. How can things regress so much from last season? We were 5th, and now we're 11th. It's the same players. Solanke's added. Got a few young players coming in. Yes, we haven't seen the likes of Wilson Odeberg. He hasn't helped us because of his injuries. But it's just been such a drop-off. I put a lot down to teams just working out how to play against us. Ange not adapting. I just can't get behind this. I have to be brutally honest. I can't. The results performances are not good enough. And Ange, he didn't have to throw out his whole system, but just play a bit different to get the points that we need. But when you look at the league table now, it's going to be really hard to kind of get back up there. I can't see us getting above many of those teams in the league above us. I just can't see it. They're just better than us. Their managers are better, especially if we keep with Ange. If we bring another manager in, it might give us an uplift. It might get us a better chance in a cup, because if with a better tactical manager, give us a better chance when we play crucial cup games in Europe and in the FA Cup. We keep with Ange and we're likely to get knocked out. That's how I think. We've done well getting to the semi-final. We have, but look who we've knocked out. An underperforming City team and an underperforming United team. Now we're playing Liverpool, an in-form Liverpool team. Even if we do well in the first leg, Anfield will be a very long night. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Give us your opinions on the manager, our season so far. What do you think is going to happen regarding Ange? Is the board going to stick with him, or are they going to make that decision? It's coming very soon. A decision has to be made. We can't continue to lose these amounts of games. Ange has spent money. The board have backed him. Have they backed him with the right players? Hell no. Yeah, but Ange has accepted it. Is Ange just Daniel Levy's puppet? Or is Ange being clever about this? And is Ange in the one, he's kind of sticking two fingers at Levy with, I'm just sticking to this system. If I lose, I don't care. What is really going on at Tottenham? What is it? Give us your opinions. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll be back Sunday night for a match review of the Wolves game. Take care. Bye-bye.